Hi Libra, the Awakened Dreamer here to give you a tarot reading for your next 48 hours. So thank you so much for joining me. And I do want to remind you, as always, this is general, so just take what resonates. And thank you in advance for your likes, comments, and subscriptions if you haven't done so already. And just keep in mind, this is meant to pertain to your next 48 hours from when you start watching this, not necessarily when I post it only. All right. But I do feel like there's a lot going on in your situation. You could find there's a lot of background distractions, noise, as there is a sound going on over here from, I believe it's the heater. There was a plane going by, or maybe it was a helicopter. But I also feel like there's a focus in the next 48 hours and where you're feeling a bit trapped, restricted, where you're feeling as if you want to, in a sense, break free. They're showing somebody breaking free from those ropes and just wanting to travel, go towards something new. Thinking about your money, right? Giving birth to something new, as that's what the rabbit does typically represent, at least for me as a reader. Feeling as if nature could definitely be your best friend if you choose to wrap yourself up with Mother Nature herself. Feeling very in touch with your feminine side in the next 48 hours for the majority of you. We're pulling from the Modern Witch Tarot deck, if you didn't recognize it. Okay, we have 4 coming out. You're feeling very burnt out, my friend. You've been going through a lot, right? It feels like, yes, work plays into it. All of the changes, developments, keeping up with a lot. But it feels like you're also dealing with other, they're saying BS, just difficulties behind closed doors. A level of ups and downs with your confidence or just your moods, your emotions. Feeling as if you need to have patience because you're feeling burnt out, right? More balance is needed. A need to get back to a healthy routine, whether it's a level of meditation each day, right? Wrapping oneself up with that. It could be getting back to working out so it benefits your mental and heart health. It could just be something simple as lighting incense or essential oils, but it feels more action oriented, where you're doing an activity or something of the sort each day or every other day to feel better about oneself, feel more grounded, to feel more alive potentially. You're going to find as if people see you as somebody who has an immense amount of patience. That might shock some of you, but I really feel as if you're pushed to recognize that there is that feisty side of you that does come out when you're feeling overly tired. So be it, right? Just try to keep it at bay, as I feel like you're also thinking thoroughly about what you want to release, what you want to cut out in the midst of things moving quickly in the next 48 hours. A lot to accomplish. Even if you feel as if you're not rushing through everything, there is a lot taking place. A lot of communication coming in. People wanting to commend you, people wanting to bring you on board in one way, shape, or form. If you do, if you're preparing to embark upon a new, they're saying adventure, journey, situation in one way, shape, or form, I feel as if you're also, on a side note, drifting away to the fact that you are going to be traveling a lot in the future, or there's just one big travel, and or there's one big travel situation that's going to change your life for the better. As we have the World at the bottom of the deck, I truly feel as if you're going to be a little bit serious in the next 48 hours, but so be it. Again, I don't feel like you're trying to force it. I actually didn't say that. You will find yourself being a little bit forgetful and a little bit spacey, a little bit out of it. They're saying heads in the cloud, but I just, heads in the clouds, interesting. I don't know why they chose one cloud, but I just feel as if you are going to recognize and remember and or remember that your world is just changing for the better. So I just feel as if the struggle could be real in the next 48 hours, but you're embracing it, right? Or you're just coping with it to the best of your ability. Just keep your head held high and remember to check yourself out in the mirror occasionally in the next 2 days, as I feel like that's a good reminder for oneself as to how good looking you are, right? How much you have going on, or just to keep that vibe higher, to bring it right back up. You might be spiritually pushed to do just that. Thinking about completion, to say the least, all right? There's going to be one time in the next, if you look at this woman here, male or female, one point in the next 2 days where you will be pushed to be very vulnerable, okay? To be honest about your experience or just however it pertains to you, a level of vulnerability is you're pushed to experience that for the sake of your growth, your development, your learning, to benefit your future potentially. Let's see what else we get here. Doing a nice little layered spread, even though you can't see it. The Knight of Cups coming out to speak upon the Temperance and the Knight of Wands again. And I really feel as if you desire movement. Some of you thinking about, in the midst of being burnt out, somebody you want to swoop in with their cup of love. But for the majority of you, I feel like it's you just having a hint of emotion or just wanting your emotions to stop floating to the surface so often recently. But they do at certain points, especially in the next 24 hours. And therefore, you're thinking about desiring movement towards something new, wanting to hop on that horse. They're saying not your chariot, your horse. They're saying it'll get you there quicker. Anyways, so random, but I just feel as if you are ready to embark upon the new, see success for oneself. You're going to see spirituality increasing in the next 48 hours. I feel like for some of you that could be a bit disheartening or a bit nerve-wracking, but it's going to benefit your work or just your life in general in one way, shape, or form as you truck. They're saying truck along as you trickle along, however everyone wants to word it. Bear with me as I struggle. Anyways, the Three of Cups coming out for the Queen of Swords and the Eight of Wands. I really feel as if you're pushed to recognize that you have a lot to celebrate. There's going to be a moment of excitement towards the end of this 48-hour period, or in the middle of it, where you just experience a level of success that's meant for you and only you. You're being put in the spotlight in certain ways, even if you're not in the mood. But I just feel like you're also being reminded that when you cut something out moving forward, even if it takes a level of courage that you don't know if you have at this point, or even if you don't know if you have enough resources to make it happen, there's going to be so many reasons to celebrate, where I feel like there's new connections, new friends, more love on the other side of that gate. Interesting, as they're making me think of the garden and the gate from the Energy Oracle deck. But I really feel like you're also thinking about catching up with old friends before a new chapter begins. You could be communicating with a group of friends in one way, shape, or form. Thinking about a new job in the future or a new situation in one way, shape, or form where you will connect with certain people and potentially reconnect with others, as you're being noticed in the next 48-hour period for your vulnerability. If you look at that imagery, don't really love this specific imagery. They're saying too much, absolutely. But for changing your world left and right? For not being someone who sticks with the same thing over and over again, or is willing to switch that up now. People just noticing you for your work as well, and seeing that you are just one inspirational individual, someone who's going places, I feel the need to say. But there is a focus, for whatever reason, on your future. That's what I'm getting from this Three of Wands, and your past. How your past is going to benefit your future. How your future will remind you of the past in a lot of ways. And I feel like where you're at now could even be sparking memories from the past left and right. And what you're beginning soon enough, I feel like in the upcoming days, upcoming weeks, could also spark memories of the past. But it's out of respect for your future, the memories and or what you're moving towards, what you're beginning. Does that make sense? If they're saying, for example, it could be a new job to save money for a new endeavor. But with the Queen of Wands, the Six of Pentacles, and the Lovers, I feel like there's a level of love coming towards you. You may even find that you remind oneself why you love a business, a project, a hobby, a job that you've been working towards for a while. But you're being viewed as somebody who's very passionate, but doesn't overly force it all the meanwhile, at least not these days. Improving oneself all the meanwhile, as gifts of abundance come in the form of love, attention, praise, money, more clientele, if that pertains to you. I just feel as if people love what you're producing, developing, and the vibes, how you've changed. Keep that up, okay? Keep that up. You'll notice when you're calm, it exudes a different vibe that people do love as well, but in comparison to when you're overly energetic and just vibing with life in that sense. You can still vibe and be chill, right? And you may be reminding somebody of that, or multiple people, or you may be reminding oneself. They're saying and or. But I'm being drawn to this tree here. They're saying there will be a moment of temptation in the next 48 hours, or multiple, where you need to be strong out of respect for your goals, out of respect for the progress you've made, and just remind oneself that you're being prepped to fly towards what you deserve. But I also feel like you're being reminded how protected, how watched you are by spirit in general. All right, there's going to be a connection to the night sky in the next 48 hours, as I really feel like you're being pushed to recognize how much you've been through, even though I feel like you do know that, and to recognize where you're at is so much different than where you're going, but your future is so much brighter, as I feel like you are just motivated and grounded throughout the next 48 hours, burnt out to say the least once again, but people are very much impressed. All right, so I hope this was truly helpful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Go have yourself an amazing next 48 hours, and I'll see you next time. Bye, Libra.